Hi everyone, it's Evangeline right here at etrailer. Today we are taking a look at porta potties, specifically the original Thetford Porta Pottis. These are going to be portable toilets, great for camping, boondocking, van life, all kinds of different situations where you still need to answer the call of nature, but this is going to make that a bit more personal. So we'll talk about some of the different features, how you might use them, how you might pick between your different options, and see what's available for you as the best fit for your adventures. So if you find that toilets are necessary for your adventure, which one do you choose? Well, with the portable toilet category, you also have to think about where you're going to be using it and how many people will be using the toilet. Because you could get a higher capacity toilet, which does take up more space, but also has more space. Or if you're only using it for emergency purposes, get something that's smaller and easier to store. The porta potty is available in different sizes, and I have the 135 as well as the 345 out here to compare. The smaller porta potties, like the 135, have a 2.6 gallon waste tank. That's going to be this portion right here. And to put that into perspective, this would be great for about 2 people, like a weekend or a 3-day trip, and mainly liquids. These can take solids, but different people have different opinions on that. Your larger capacity toilet has a 3.2 gallon tank, which can handle a little bit more. Maybe you're a family of 4, maybe you're out for a longer trip. This is gonna have a hand flush only. If you want the electric flush, then you are gonna have to upgrade to the 5.5 gallon porta potty. You can check that one out here at etrailer if you're curious about the more premium toilet option. The way this works is you add fresh water to the freshwater top tank over here, and then you flush that water by using the pump. See how that shoots the water around the toilet bowl? Should just capture everything that might be inside. And then you open up that valve by pulling the lever in the center, which then drops all of that water, liquids or solids, and then you push the valve back in to seal in the odor. And while we have some really good specs and dimensions here on our website that will help you figure out if it will fit inside your vehicle, here's 3 things that you may not have thought about until you had to use a portable toilet. The first is, I really like the depth of the toilet bowl. For the smaller one, it's 5.5 inches from the top of the seat to the closest point of that toilet bowl. For the largest one, it's gonna be 7.5 inches of depth. That's gonna be very important when you have to sit on that bowl. The second thing is, I really like how that water goes around the bowl before it sits on top of that valve. But while that hand flush is great for pushing that around, the bellows flush has a lot of good force, but if you don't store it properly, maybe you have it up against something pointy, you do risk damaging that bellows, which then creates an air leak, and you may lose that function. So you do have to be mindful of where you store the toilet. And the third thing is, since these toilets are made of plastic, yes, a good and easy to clean plastic. On that note, I do recommend using RV toilet paper because those are designed to break apart more than your household bath tissue does. And while we're talking about other things you can use with this, some people like to put additives to their freshwater tank, kind of like your household toilet where there's that blue liquid that just disinfects things on the way down. I personally would stray away from that just because you don't know how certain chemicals may interact with the seals of the toilet as well as just keeping things clean. However, Thetford does have their Aqua Clean, which is going to be your toilet bowl cleaner that you can spray on and use to clean things out. They also have waste tank or holding tank treatments. For example, the Aquamax, you can just put a packet inside that waste tank, make sure there's a little bit of water so it can do its work. Thetford has chemical as well as enzyme formulas. You can use one or the other, just don't mix and match them. Having those waste tablets is ideal if you are going to have your porta potty sitting for an extended period of time. Usually if it's going to be like a week or so, you would make sure that things are breaking down properly. Now, when you do need to fill up your porta potty with fresh water, there's going to be that port in the corner. That's going to be large enough where you can put up just a new old hose to it. A lot of people have their own water tanks that they fill up in a separate location. This is going to be a great way to keep track of how much water is left in the fresh water tank. The electric version of this toilet will have a fresh water tank indicator. All the other versions will either have just a wastewater indicator or no indicator whatsoever. Here on our 345, we have that waste tank indicator, which tells you when it is a good time to dump that waste tank. Now, I flushed this about 25 times. There was a good amount of water in there already, and I can only just barely see the red indicator. And that indicator is sitting on kind of a bubble. So as I tilt the tank up and down, you're able to see that bubble move a little bit more. So that's just something to be mindful of. Thetford does say 27 to 33 flushes is around the time when you should dump that tank. So I'll show you how that process works. When you're not using a toilet, where do you put it? I recommend a container like a tote or a drawer shelf area that would fit, just anything where it will not be sliding around. Some people can strap down the toilet, but I'm a bit wary of that just because there's a lot of plastic pieces around here and a ratchet strap could potentially crush or break those pieces. In vans like this one, there usually is a storage compartment where you could put a toilet like this. Now this fits well into the box for storage purposes, but for use purposes, not as well. Because if I turn it this way, I would not be able to open up the lid. If I turned it this way, it just isn't as useful for sitting down on because it sits pretty low inside the box. So a lot of people build their enclosures around the toilet dimensions. If that's the route you would like to go, well, check out our website. We really try our best to get you good and accurate information, specs, measurements, things like that. That way you can build out your vehicle or your van in the way that fits your adventure best. So I've worked with a bunch of different portable toilets here at eTrailer. And when you're looking for toilet solutions, there's some things you have to keep in mind. You have options. Of the different categories of toilets, there's 4 categories for me. The first is going to be your bare bones bag or bucket pack out toilet solution. You can then upgrade a little bit and then you get the portable toilets like these. The next step is going to be your cassette toilets, which are going to be semi-permanent, where the toilet is there and then you just remove the waste tank cassette every now and then. More commonly seen in van build-outs. And then finally, you get your RV toilets that you'll see in motorhomes, campers, your more permanent solutions. Each of those have their pros and time and place. Portable toilets really are there as that in-between between the woods and a permanent toilet option. How do the porta potties work for you? For me personally, if I was to get a porta potty, I would get this one right over here, the 345. I like the hand pump. I like the large capacity. I like the dimensions of the toilet bowl, plenty of clearance. The one reason that might not be a good fit is it is a larger toilet that makes it more difficult to bring around. If it was just gonna be me camping, and if I only needed a toilet for emergency purposes, the 135 fills that need and stores very easily into a large tote. So hopefully this video just helped explain how all those features work together, how you can use them in your different situations, and what might be the best fit for you.